Створюємо роту супертяжів. Танки Абрамс тепер на озброєнні полку «Скеля».
And it seems that Hungary and Slovakia are going to sing Cry Me a River again. Rocket forces and artillery of Ukraine, together with other defense forces units, struck a linear station of the Druzhba oil pipeline, the General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine said. On the night of August 29th, a combined strike targeted a linear production station near the settlement of Netopovichi in Russia's Bryansk region. The facility was hit by rocket forces and artillery units and the Unmanned Systems Forces, in cooperation with the Special Operations Forces and the Security Service of Ukraine. A fire was reported at the site. The commander of the Unmanned Systems Forces later clarified that it was the destruction of the 8H line production dispatch station in Netopovichi of the Transneft Corporation. In particular, the strategic facility was hit with the participation of the 14th Regiment of Unmanned Systems. A week earlier, the operators of the 14th Regiment of Unmanned Systems hit the Unecha oil pumping station, cementing the result of the previous attack on August 12th. In addition to European transit, this station also plays a key role in supplying oil to the Baltic seaport of Ust-Luga. It accounts for a significant portion of Russia's oil exports. High-quality satellite imagery captured the destruction of the pumping station at the Unecha facility, which led to the shutdown of the oil pipeline. The attack completely destroyed the pumping station building, causing the roof to collapse along the entire length of the building. Several smaller technical rooms and technological equipment next to it were also destroyed. Oil pipeline nodes in the Bryansk region have been repeatedly targeted by Ukrainian forces. One notable attack earlier this year involved unmanned aircraft dropping a 250-kilogram FAB-250 M54 aerial bomb on the Druzhba pipeline's Novozibkov pumping station, hundreds of kilometers from the border. At the Morozovsk military airbase in Russia's Rostov region, 18 protective shelters have been constructed to house combat aircraft. The Strategic Aviation of the Russian Federation Telegram channel published satellite images of the airbase. These facilities are designed to accommodate Su-34 fighter bombers, as well as Su-24MR reconnaissance aircraft. These aircraft are involved in daily airstrikes on Ukrainian territory using glide bombs. Aircraft are virtually unseen at the airbase. They leave the shelters only shortly before takeoff, and maintenance is performed inside the shelters. It is reported that as of August 27th, at least one Su-34 had been present at the Morozovsk airbase, spotted in an open area, along with 4 Su-24MRs inside the shelters. In one of the images, a warehouse at the airbase can be seen, where containers likely used for storing aerial bombs are kept. Construction of additional protective shelters is ongoing here. Similar work on building protective shelters for aircraft is either underway or has already been completed at other air bases located around Ukraine. The Morozovsk air base has been repeatedly attacked by the Ukrainian Defense Forces. The destruction and damage of Su-34 fighter bombers have been recorded. At the beginning of August 2024, an ammunition depot at this military air base was destroyed as a result of a Ukrainian strike. The invaders lost a large amount of various types of aviation weaponry there, including guided bombs and air-to-air missiles. The tank unit of the 425th Assault Regiment Skala has received M1 Abrams tanks, becoming the second user of these vehicles in the armed forces of Ukraine. The announcement was published on the page of the 425th Regiment. The unit's press service announced the reinforcement with the new type of equipment using third-party footage of tanks from the 47th Mechanized Brigade Magura, which until recently was the only user of the tanks in the country. Presumably, the Skali tank unit was equipped with Australian M1A1 Abrams, the first batch of which arrived in Ukraine in late July. Australia has pledged to provide a 49-vehicle tank battalion. The Australian vehicles slightly differ from the baseline vehicles, as they have been upgraded to the M1A1 AIM-SA version and received a number of regional modifications to meet customer requirements. These vehicles have a new armor package without depleted uranium. The AIM-SA electronics package includes a digital fire control system, thermal imaging, and communications equipment better than that of the basic M1A1, as well as a satellite navigation system. In addition, the gas turbine engines of the Australian tanks have been reconfigured to use diesel fuel instead of JP-8 aviation kerosene, which is standard for the U.S. Army. This should simplify logistics for the Ukrainian Army, whose armored vehicles are also standardized for diesel. In all other respects, these tanks are similar to other Abrams in the Ukrainian Army. It is possible that upon arrival in the country, they will be retrofitted with anti-drone grids, electronic warfare equipment, and additional dynamic protection elements, as has already been done with other armored vehicles. It should be recalled that the tank unit of the 425th Assault Regiment was created earlier this year and received modernized Leopard 1A5 tanks. In addition, even under the battalion's regular structure, Scala's fighters were among the first to receive American M2 Bradley infantry fighting vehicles. They are complemented by M113 tracked armored personnel carriers and the rather rare M1117 wheeled armored vehicles. In April, Militarny also reported that the regiment's artillerymen received 155 Nuamier 1109 self-propelled tracked howitzers. Earlier, Scala was the first in the Defense Forces to deploy a motorcycle company designed to quickly take up positions during assault operations. A Ukrainian soldier captured more Russian troops on the Dobropilya front. The latest capture adds to a growing trend of Russian surrenders in the Donetsk region, particularly around Pokrovsk, where Ukrainian counterattacks have been steadily grinding down enemy forces. Soldiers on the ground report that many of the captured troops appear exhausted, poorly supplied, and increasingly demoralized. Some had been thrown into battle with little preparation, underscoring the strain on Russian reserves. For Ukraine, these captures not only remove fighters from the battlefield, but also provide valuable intelligence on enemy deployments and movements. The frequency of such incidents suggests that Russian units in this sector are losing cohesion under relentless Ukrainian pressure, further weakening Moscow's attempts to stabilize its positions in Donetsk. German Chancellor Friedrich Merz dismissed the possibility of a Zelensky-Putin meeting anytime soon, calling it obvious that no summit will take place, despite earlier suggestions from Trump and Putin. Trump is reportedly stepping back, leaving it to Ukraine and Russia to arrange talks. Russian propagandists admit striking Azerbaijani and U.S. objects in Ukraine and say they will do it again.
Moratorium on strikes against energy infrastructure facilities. We see that now both sides have exited this moratorium. Russia is striking Ukrainian, and by the way, Azerbaijani oil product pumping facilities. The Ukrainian side
to facilities located in Ukraine, what difference does it make who they belong to, whether American, Hungarian, or any others?
Well, nevertheless,
To those facilities that supply the armed forces of Ukraine.
Politico reports that European leaders are floating a 40 kilometers Ukraine-Russia buffer zone as part of a ceasefire plan, an idea Moscow supports but Ukraine hasn't endorsed. The proposal, which could involve up to 60,000 peacekeeping troops, raises concerns over territorial concessions, NATO readiness, and security gaps along Russia's border.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want to support Warthog Defense, please become our member and get early access to new videos, exclusive members-only videos, and become administrator in comment section. The membership link is in the description.